a
Sorry,
very
that was
blurry, yeah, no worries. It was a very blurry thing in the front, and I tried to like edit it out. It just got blurrier, and I just thought, okay, he's gonna yell at me for the blurry thing in the front, but I don't know how to take care of it.
well, we'll have a look at the photo in a minute, but do you remember, because we covered this in a couple of classes ago, do you remember what live mode actually means, what it's doing on your iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, it's taking like a 3 second video clip, and it also takes up a lot more memory, but I take most of my photos in live.
Yeah, it's actually not a video clip. That's lots of people think it's a video clip. It's actually not. The best way to think about it is we used to get these in London. I don't like when I was a kid. I don't. I'm sure they were in America. Those like you know how you'd have those like little flick books, and you'd flick
Uh-huh.
like I don't know, the mouse would jump up onto the wall, and then the mouse would come down. And they used to come in serial like cartons in the UK. But what live mode is doing, it's not actually taking a video. It's taking between 50, depending on what iPhone you've got, it's taking between 15 and 20 photos very, very quickly.
Okay.
And then it's stitching them all together in what for you looks like a video clip. So every time you click on a picture, you kind of see the person's head move a tiny bit and then it goes back to normal. So you see the movement of, yeah, it's between like 1 to 3 seconds, again, which iPhone you see. But the key is that when you take a picture in live mode, which actually you shouldn't be doing 90% of the time because it's just wasting, as you say, it's wasting your memory. You can't, hey Carolyn, you can't shoot in RAW, something we were talking about last time, as in making sure you get a better file, RAW, like a raw piece of meat. A RAW file is a much bigger file. And when you're in live mode, Apple doesn't let you shoot in RAW,
Okay.
Well,
which
that
is,
makes sense though.
yeah, because you're taking all these pictures and
It's
it's putting it together as a video. So there are some use cases of why you'd use live mode. Maybe I'll cover one of them today, but primarily to recreate what a slow shutter speed looks like. If you're familiar with cameras, but it's an in-camera technique. You can basically show movement. What it will do is it will take like those 15 photos you take, rather than putting it into a video, it will kind of blend them together to show
mm,
motion. Um, there's some other use like it creates like you can get like a video that like loops around and it would be like a kid kicking a soccer ball and you just keep on seeing the kid looking kicking the soccer ball. You can get it to reverse and you can get the soccer ball coming the wrong way, but it would just like create a little reverse video. There's things you can do with it, but I would 100% have it, and I can actually show you how to do it if you've got your iPhone now. I would have it by default turned off. Um, and only use it when because A, it's taking up like for every one photo you take, it's like taking 3 photos. So you're just eating through your Apple storage. Carolyn, we're just talking about the live view mode, the live photo thing. If you've ever seen that on your Apple phone, it looks like a three concentric circles, and it kind of makes if ever you're reviewing your pictures, they look like mini little videos. And Lisa's
Yes.
just asking a question about it, so I'm gonna make sure you've all got it turned off. So if you go to settings, the main settings of your phone. Go down to camera. Let me know once you're there.
Yep.
I'm there.
And then about halfway down under camera, you'll see it says preserve settings.
Oh, okay.
Bless you. Let me know. I'm just going to wait till Lisa
Yeah.
gets.
Okay. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
No, don't worry. So you click on preserve settings. Okay. And then you scroll all the way down to the bottom. The very last one should say live photo.
God, there's a lot of settings for this camera.
There's a lot of things you can do once you start
Wow.
it out. Yeah. So you'll see if you read under there, it says preserve the live photo setting rather than automatically reset to live photo turned on, which is what's happening on your phone, Lisa. It just keeps on
Okay.
back on. So you want to turn that, you want to make that green. You want to turn
Yeah.
that on. Okay? As in make it green like that.
Oh,
Oh, we want
you
that to
do
be
want it
green.
You
green.
want it
Oh, I
on,
thought
yeah.
we.
Because so that's going to preserve the set. So if you say I want it off, it's going to keep it off rather than automatically resetting
Oh,
it to be
Oh,
on.
gotcha.
that's kind of not clear. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a bit
Yeah.
counterintuitive, the phrasing, but yes, you want that on.
Okay.
Hey.
While we're actually here, because it'll be some other. We might as well run through this menu. Um, let's just again, it's going to be slightly different for some of you depending on which phone you've got. But actually, if you go all the way to the top, camera mode, photographic styles, creative controls, depth controls, macro control, and you may not have all of these that I'm reading, but hopefully you've got most of them. Exposure adjustment, those should all be on. They
Oh,
should be,
really?
unless you,
Oh,
yeah,
Okay, so camera mode should be
on,
on.
yeah,
Okay. Photographic style
on,
on. Creative controls
on,
on. Depth control.
control, on. This is for stuff we haven't covered yet, but we will cover.
Macro
Macro
control.
control,
Exposure adjustment.
on.
Wow.
Night mode
Night mode's
on, night
on.
mode on, portrait zoom on,
Is on. Action mode?
mode on. I'm basically getting you to turn all of them on rather than a couple.
yeah.
Pro RAW and resolution. Don't be scared by this. This is stuff by going on behind the scenes. Pro RAW and resolution control on,
And then the live photo on.
and then do you have one that says Apple Pro Res? You may
I
not.
I
don't
don't have that.
Okay,
I don't either.
don't worry. So ignore it. Okay, come out of our. Come back on the settings. Just hit the little arrow going back on the top left-hand corner. Okay, just while we're here, I'll just get. You should have under composition. Grid, I know, should be on for all of you. That's the
Yeah,
grid. And then underneath, there's one that says level.
yeah.
Hopefully, you have it?
Mm-hmm.
Turn it on.
On.
It's going to help you keep your camera straight. Stops buildings that look like they're falling over. Everything else, don't worry about here. There's tons and tons and tons of different things we can.
Yeah, view outside the frame I have on, and I don't know, is that something I want on?
I would have that off. Because
Okay.
that means what you see in the camera is not actually what you're taking a picture of.
That was a question
Kind
I
of like
had.
imagining that, like imagine I had a square drawn around me with like a little border that you're
It's like
actually
a frame, yeah.
inside the frame and you're not getting the outside. You want to be able to see the whole thing. That should 100% be on.
Oh, good, because I was noticing that and I thought, I don't know if that's being taken or not,
Yeah.
because okay.
Yeah, it's like taking 10% off the sides and off the top, which you don't want to do.
So that's view outside the frame?
Yeah, it should be off.
Off. Okay.
I have all the opposite of what you're telling us.
That's okay.
Well, it's probably the default, right? I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
a lot of it's the default because one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit today is kind of at the moment we spent a lot of time as a group talking about what I would say is the conceptual, like the rule of thirds, the filling the frame, the leading lines, like all that stuff that are like the ingredients to go into making a good photo. In truth, like good photography, going from like taking to making photos is a blend of the conceptual and the technical. We haven't touched the technical at all, really. I mean, I've alluded to it when I've been talking, but I haven't gone into depth on it. And the beauty of photography is actually like right brain and left brain. You can get, if you're a numbers person, you can get really geeky about the numbers and equations. And I'm not going to go there in these series of classes, but you can do. And on the same side, you can go super artsy and art school and conceptual about it. But the truth is that it's an amalgamation of both. Usually I always teach, or I always teach the conceptual first, because that's the foundation. If you can't see properly, you don't understand light, you don't understand composition, then you can know all the technical stuff in the world, but it's not going to help you. But these things that I've just encouraged you to turn on and off, they're a little bit more set it and forget it. Like you shouldn't have to be going back here and changing these at all. Just leave it now. Don't even have to go there. And actually, if you flick up to your camera now, like as in go back to your camera, especially.
Do these tend to get reset when a new operating system gets loaded?
Good question.
You know?
Not usually, no.
Okay.
But they would be reset if you got a new iPhone.
Yeah, okay.
If you went and upgraded to the iPhone 17 today, it would be like factory default. And Apple really, because Apple doesn't want lots of people like going to the Apple store and saying, hey, my phone doesn't work. I got a blurry picture. I got a picture that was too bright, a picture too dark. They try to automate as much as they can because most people have never had a photography lesson. They don't know anything about photography and they just want to be able to point and shoot. And whatever they see, they want a reasonable picture of it. We're going to take a bit more creative control over our cameras. Hey, Kathy. Um, to, to kind of help blend that conceptual and technical. But if you come back to your camera, Lisa, what iPhone have you got?
I have 15.
Okay, so you probably see on the top left or right hand corner some circles.
It says raw.
Yeah, that's on the top left, right? And then
Yeah.
have you got six little squares on the top right?
I've got three little.
Dots. Yeah, touch that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm doing the same thing as Lisa.
Okay.
That brings up a menu, and you'll see one of the options there says live.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that live should not have an A next to it like that.
Mm.
Okay.
Tiny. If you can just
Yeah,
touch it, you'll see. Oh, and it shouldn't be.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Okay.
Drag through, so it's off. But while we're here, this is actually a really good creative technique that I can teach you really quickly. Just turn it on for a second. So just turn it on so it goes yellow like that.
I don't think I have the little dots you're talking about.
Your one, Gene, depending some older iPhones, it will
No,
be.
I'm newer. I'm 16 or 17 or something.
Oh, you should have when you go in the camera. You should. Sorry about
Oh,
the.
they're out in the upper right? Is that what they're?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said upper left. Okay,
No,
sorry.
no. And then when you touch them, you get the menu down here, and you'll see one of the options is to turn live on. Let's actually all turn it on
Got
for a
it.
second.
Okay.
Okay. The reason I'm going to turn it on, this is taking me down a good creative rabbit hole here that I wasn't going to teach you, but I can do it. I can show you something interesting that is actually really fun. Let me just share my screen with you. Okay. So there is a whole school of photography called intentional camera movement. You'll often hear it referred to as ICM. This is it.
Oh,
GCA
wow.
Oh,
love
wow.
this. This is an in-camera creative technique. So for
Wow.
example, let's look at the coastline here. You'll pretty much always see it referred to just with the acronym ICM. But ICM means intentional, write it down, intentional camera movement.
So they won't complain that it's out of focus.
No, it's really interesting. I teach a lot of other garden clubs, and sometimes people put out their hands, and there's judges in the group, and they say they actually encourage this. This is when you
Yeah.
look at when you look at how a photo is judged, and they like rank it. Usually, 25% of that ranking is creativity. It's like creativity, composition, distinction, artistry, subject. The creativity and often you'll see in a lot of the shows they'll say like creative techniques encouraged, like try to use it like a creative technique. Hands down, the number one creative technique that people use is this because it's so easy to do. I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute. But essentially, why it's called intentional camera movement. Usually, we don't want shaky pictures. We don't want pictures that are blurry like this. But we are intentionally, as we take the picture, moving our hand in a certain direction. This one is moving it from bottom to top like this. The one I just showed you, I could show you hundreds of ones of the ocean. Like there'll be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who've taken intentional camera pictures. And here you get the movement of the ocean. And this is literally someone just taking their hand, taking a picture, and as they take the picture, moving left to right like this.
Wow.
In the live mode, you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach in a minute. I'm going to teach you how to do it. We're going to practice. You can do it in the rooms you're in now. I'll show you how to do it in a second. But you can, yeah, you can. Essentially, what this is doing, if you had a traditional camera, and don't worry if this goes over your heads for a sec, but in a traditional camera, you can control something called shutter speed, which is long or fast, slow or fast. Like you take the picture, do you take it over the course of like 1/4000th of a second, or do you take it over the course of 10 seconds? This, up until they brought it into a way you can hack it on the iPhone, is you had to use a slow shutter speed, and then you were showing a period of time. So you were showing the movement of your hand over 2 seconds. You'd like take a picture and it'd be like 1, 2, I've got 2 seconds to move my hand. You can do 5 seconds, 10 seconds. The slower the shutter speed, the more abstract it becomes. Like people use it in the forest, the whole, like the woods, the redwoods. Like you guys could go to Reinhardt Park, like really near you guys, and go to the redwoods. Go to the redwoods and practice some intentional camera movement. This is just moving your camera.
That's neat.
Yeah. And what's really the reason why people love it, and there's some people, this is literally all they do. I sometimes teach 2-part, 3-part workshops just on intentional camera movement. I'm not going to go crazily into depth with it today with you guys, but it's that it is impossible to create the same photo twice. So the school of thought of like an ICM photographer is every photo I take is 100% unique. You can't recreate it. You can't do it again, because if you try and take it again, your hand's going to move at a different speed. You're going to move in a slightly different direction. Every single picture you take is essentially a one of one. And people like that idea. They're like, no one can knock up. You can go, 20 of us could go and stand at the Golden Gate Bridge and take a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge with some intentional camera movement. Every one of your photos will look different. You can't create the same thing twice. In fact, let's have a look. We'll see if we've got one on the Golden Gate Bridge. And this is a very, yeah, there's one. Okay. So there's one. So it creates something that is a bit more artistic. It shows that you are a little bit more skilled when it comes to the technique. And you haven't, I mean, this would be a pretty picture if you just took this picture from the Marin Headlands of the Golden Gate Bridge. But it's a very fun technique to play with. Like that one, I think is too much, but you'll see
that one's neat.
Yeah. And you'll see like, I mean, I could show you some of mine, but it's easy, quicker. I'll just do them on here. Let me think of something else. Let's have a look if someone's done it at the La Forêt Reservoir, because you will go there. maybe not. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
So you're starting to create, I don't know if that is the reservoir, but it looks like the reservoir, but you're starting to create. So what direction do you think Barry, the photographer here, is moving their hand? Which way are the lines going?
This way.
Side to side.
Yeah, exactly. They're going they're going horizontal. And the two standard like ICM approaches, you go left to right or you go up and down like this. Now you can actually do anything. You can draw a circle and draw a shape, but those are the two most common. Now the way we can do that on the iPhone, and probably the only reason, Lisa, why I would ever want you on live view, we've now turned it off on our cameras, so by default you're never going to take one unless you go and turn it on, is if you want to experiment with this technique, which I would highly encourage you, which is great. Like even if I show you, let's look at some flowers, like we're at GCA group here. So you'll see people do like really interesting abstract things with flowers to make them look like this. This is all in camera. This is not Photoshop. None of these are, this is straight out of someone's either iPhone or camera. I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. But all of these, see that this tulip,
Wow.
to as ICM or intent. So in this particular one, all they've done is they've literally just gone like that. They made a circle. And as they're in the process, the key with it is as you're moving, you have to take the picture. You don't move and then take the picture. As you're taking the picture, and it takes a bit of practice, but as you're moving, and I always tell people like put your thumb so it's ready, or even better on the iPhone is you can use the increase volume button. So you don't even have to, you can kind of, I could go like this and be shaking my phone around and I could just be going, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture, go like this. And it's just this finger on that increase volume button, this guy here. This will allow you to take the photo without having to try to fumble and press the button on the screen at the same time. So let's try it for a sec. This will be a fun exercise. So find something in your room, or like Carolyn's in like a view of her garden, just something that's got a little bit of color or texture. Like don't just photograph like a plain wall. Just if there's a piece of art on your wall or some photo frames, or in Carolyn's case, her garden behind her yard behind her, doesn't really matter. But don't do anything just yet. I'm going to show you how to do it. So it's so funny. I teach this to groups, and then everyone comes back to me, and they're like, "Oh my God, I was standing at the Golden Gate Bridge. I was at the Lafayette Reservoir, and everyone thought I was the mad person because I'm going like this with my camera and taking a picture, which is what you get paid." But so what we're going to do is we'll try doing take it portrait this way to begin with, and have your finger ready to go on that button. So when you press the button, it's going to take a picture. And you should see, you can just practice. When you take the picture, you should see very quickly, oops, that just came out of my camera, hold on, that the word live is going to come up at the top.
What's gonna come up?
Live. Can you see it there? Watch. Live. When I take the picture. Live.
Mine's not setting up, so what am I doing wrong?
You got to make sure it's turned on.
Okay.
It's on the left-hand side. You're saying the volume?
No, that's to take the picture, but you've got to turn live mode on first. And to turn
It's
live
on.
mode on. It is on?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, now it's on. Okay. Okay.
And then when you hit that button, as the picture's going to take, and you should see in yellow at the top, it says live, like this. Watch, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oops, turn the camera on. 1, 2, 3, take the picture. I'm going to press here, live. That's just your key. It's just reminding me I'm there. Every time I take a picture, just going to go live. Okay? We all there?
No,
Yeah.
where my live button was, it now says aperture.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Ignore that. Just go back to if you're
But I,
stuck, make sure you're on photo down at the bottom.
oh, I was on portrait. Okay.
Okay, so make sure you're on photo. Then make sure that you hit those little dots on the top right hand corner and that live
Okay.
is yellow like that.
Okay. It wasn't on. Okay, got it.
Then you're ready to roll.
Got it.
Okay. Watch me. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to have our finger in place, and you can do it if you want. You can do it this way, like landscape. Maybe actually do it landscape. I think it's easier to go landscape at first. So have your finger on this button, ready to go, and I want you to find something in your room and watch how. And I want you to just move your arms like this. And as you're moving your arms, I want you to press on the button here, and I want you to take 4 or 5 pictures. Carolyn, you've got to move a bit quicker than that.
Oh.
Just move. So just like move from your elbows if you can. So about the pace you can see I'm doing here. You don't want to be like this or like this. You're not going to get it. You've got to be fast.
Oh,
So
okay.
just so imagine you were like, I don't know. Look at me. Look how fast I'm going. Like
Okay.
this. I want
Oh,
to
okay.
take a picture, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture.
Huh.
Okay, and then let me know once you've. That's Carolyn. That's a good speed. Perfect. Hey, that's really good. That's
Not
why I said
working for me.
people may think
Neither.
you're a bit mad, but it's fine.
Looks like I'm getting a video instead of a.
Yeah, I don't even bother looking at them at the moment. Just take the pic. Make sure you're on photo at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
But
I'm
then when
on
are you
photo.
saying when you review it, it looks like a mini video?
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So what we're gonna do? Okay, is we are gonna go to the photos, as in review one of the photos. I'll show you on mine. I just took a picture of you guys on the screen, but you'll see on the top left-hand corner, it's gonna say live when you're looking at the photo. Sorry, hard to see with the reflection. I'll get my pen so you can see it. It's at the top here. It says live. So I'm flicking through. These are the pictures that I took when my hand was moving. And I'm up here, I'm looking for the word that says live. If you click on that, you're going to get a whole load of options of things you can do. Okay? Click on the first one that says loop. That's going to give you like a mini video that's just going to go round and round and round that just shows your hand. It may take a second to go, and it depends how, but you should all be seeing a little bit of motion there. Everyone got that?
Yep.
Okay, then
Mhm.
click on it again and then go bounce. And it's going to do exactly the same. The video is just going to run the other way. I'm showing these to you, but you don't really need to use them from my perspective from a photography, but it's nice to know that they're there. The one I care about is the third one down, or fourth one down, that says long exposure. And I want you to click on that. And what you should see is you start to get that blending together.
Yeah.
Like look at mine.
Okay.
There's mine. Let's just photograph. So here's what it looked like. I'll show you. Here's what it looked like. Got to try and do this with it. Here's what it looked like before. Live. So hold on, give it a second. There's what it looked like before. I hit live. I hit long exposure. Oh, that was the wrong one. Sorry.
So it changes the picture after you've taken it. I see.
Exactly.
Okay.
But well, what it's doing is when you're in live mode, because you're taking 15 to 20 pictures, you just don't realize very, very fast, is it's then blending them all together.
I mean, I always use live mode because I have grandkids. And so you have to use live mode to take pictures or because they move so fast. And then I go through and then you can make the key photo.
You pick the keyframe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you always have to use live photo to take pictures of moving things. But it's
Grandkids, yeah.
it's one way it's one way of doing it to make sure you get the perfect moment as they're running.
It helps. It helps.
Yeah. But this what I've just and now did you all get some movement? Could you all see some movement?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's just try exactly the same thing while we're here. Go back to the camera. And this time I want you to go up and down. I want you to point at the same thing. But rather than go left to right, I want you to kind of start almost at the floor and go up to the ceiling. And again, it's got to be kind of as fast as I'm moving here. So Kathy, you're probably a bit slow there. You've got to go a bit faster if you can. So if you
Oh.
a little bit, yeah, more like that, and then take the picture. Even Lisa, I'd go a little bit faster than you're going. I think you're going.
Okay.
And this takes practice.
And numbers come up at the bottom, right? So it's counting.
Yeah, ignore the numbers. It's irrelevant.
Okay.
Yeah, like Carolyn's got a good speed there. That's the kind of speed you need to get. Okay. So let me know once you've all done a couple of those. And then if you go and review them, and then you hit live at the top again, and you go long exposure, rather than the movement be horizontal, left to right, the movement should look more bottom to top. And this is people use this in floral photography the whole time because it gives the feeling of growth or like blooming or sprouting when we move from top to bottom.
What am I doing wrong? Mine is saying burst at the top. I don't know what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing. So by accident, you are holding down here
Oh,
and it's turning into a burst.
okay.
I don't want you to do that. The easier way to do it is take the picture, which may seem a bit counterintuitive or strange if you've never done it before, but I want you to take the picture with this button, the button you usually turn the volume up
Okay.
if you're on a phone call. That will prevent you getting the burst. So you can practice again, Catherine. So all I'm doing is let's say I put my phone landscape like this.
And I go
Easier is I go like this. And I'm just taking a picture, taking a picture, taking a picture, taking a picture as I go up and down. Try turning it landscape. It may be easier than a portrait one. Like as in turn your phone so it's the same orientation. Like Jean, turn your phone this way. Yeah, and have the increase volume button at the top, almost like a traditional camera.
Oh, got it.
And then go up and down. That's going to be much easier for you to control. That's good, Lisa. You got it.
Oops.
Okay. And you're taking the picture as you're moving. That's called intentional camera movement. ICM. Now go back, review the photo afterwards. The original one will be there and will look pretty static. And when you hit live at the top and you go down to long exposure, you should see it all blending together. You got it? Lisa, you got it?
Yep.
Yeah. Now you're doing this in in the rooms that you're in, but if you go and photograph in like a beautiful, colorful garden or like somewhere that like the reservoir or anywhere, I just imagine go and photograph the Orinda theatre sign and put some motion blur into it. Like if you went and photographed it at night when it was lit up, you're going to get some really interesting, I'll show you at night. Let's do pretty lines. Because at nighttime, you see the movement of your hand. So people get really into this and they'll start creating like, oops, they'll start creating really interesting pictures like this
Mm.
or this. You can go as abstract as you want. The faster you move your hand, the more abstract it goes. Like that's a good example of someone
That's
just going
nice.
a little bit bottom to top, but that's
Mhm.
straight out the camera. They haven't done it. There's no Photoshop magic on that. That's just literally they've moved the hand from bottom to top and they've taken the picture. This used to be a very difficult technique for me to teach because you had to know a lot about how to use a camera, a traditional camera, and you had to really understand the numbers. This kind of hack that I've just taught you has made ICM much more accessible to the masses. Because all you've got to do is like if I ran you through a step by step of what you have to do, you have to turn live photo on. You have to make sure you're moving your camera and taking a picture at the same time. And then you have to review the picture afterwards, hit on live mode, and choose long exposure. That's it. You've just got it, Kathy. I'd move your hands a little bit faster if you can.
Okay.
You've just got to make sure that when you're done with this and you're like, okay, I've had fun playing with this, but I don't want to do it anymore, that you turn live off.
You turn live off. Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise, but you can see just even in these like street scenes, you can see how people get really creative with it. And
So
at
GCA
night,
judges like this?
say that again.
GCA judges like this?
They love it. Absolutely. I've actually started seeing it come up as like one of the classes. Sometimes the class will be called ICM, intentional camera movement.
Oh, wow.
It's like but they've only really done that since it became much more accessible to do on the phone. Because otherwise it was really an advanced technique. Like I would only teach it to a group of an intermediate to advanced people because you've got to understand all the other variables on the camera. But you can see like all of this intentional camera movement. And I could pretty much pick any subject that I wanted, let's say dog, and you're gonna see it like done again and again and again. Oops, sorry. You're gonna see it, and the key is just to experiment and play with it. So this is someone moving their hand left to right. Same here. That one's a bit crisper. Same here. But lots of people feel it gives kind of a level, especially the beach and the water ones. I like the horizontal left to right. They give a very nice, they tie in. In fact, one of you sent me a picture, I can't remember who it was, of a nursery. Was that one of you?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, so we'll come to that in a minute. Carolyn sent me one of the nursery, but it was a lot of the components of it were all to do with layers, like and I'll show you an artist when we talk about Carolyn's picture in a minute. But
I
you
have a
can
question.
see, yeah, go for it, Jane. Sorry.
Go back to where that dog was running. So it's, I think, two back.
Yeah,
He seems to be pretty in focus or more in focus in the back.
yeah.
Is that maybe moving slower or
It's
something?
moving
Or
a bit slower and it's trying to follow the dog. So if you imagine this, it's trying to move
Mm.
with the dog, if that makes sense. So if you're
oh,
trying,
move with the dog. Yeah.
yeah, so the dog's like running this way and you're moving it. Ideally, to get it really sharp, which this person's done here,
Yeah.
you have to move it, and this takes a lot of practice. You have to move at exactly the same speed as your subject.
Wow.
Wow.
This hand would have been moving really fast because the dog's sprinting.
That's so fascinating.
But you'll see, as I say, I mean, like, let's just do San Francisco, because that's where we all are. Like, look at Chinatown.
Yeah.
Like, look at California Street. So you
Yeah.
can you can get and like something like that is way more abstract. That's someone moving their hand. I don't even know what that is. It looks like someone. No, it's just a light. Um, but lots of people will just like see pretty colors in the sky. Like let's say there's a nice sunset, and they'll want to make it look all ethereal. And they'll just point their camera at the sky, at the oranges and the reds and the yellows, and they'll just move their camera around and just try taking pictures. There's no right answer how to do this. The key is experimentation and kind of that whole unique idea that every photo you create, you can't create again. It's 100% unique. You can even this is people like spinning their cameras round. Same thing we
Hmm.
do, but this is here's a good example. Instead of going left to right or up and down, they've just gone like this and taken the photo while they're very popular in floral photography. So really but the two main movements in intentional camera that you see most of the time are lateral, horizontal, left to right, and up and down. But there's literally no rules. You can wave the camera around like this if you want and try taking some pictures, see what comes out. You may hate it, you may like it. But as you can see, I could spend the whole lesson showing you examples. I'm not going to, but it's used again and again and again. It's become a huge school of photography, like its own separate thing. Like people go to workshops for 4 days that's just on ICM. Kind of like how people would go to a landscape photography workshop or a macro photography workshop or a dog photography workshop. Anyone got any? I wasn't planning on showing that to you today, but I'm pleased I did because I think that will help you actually. A big part of my job is how do we make your photos stand out from the crowd? And using certain creative techniques, of which ICM is one, is a good way of doing that. Okay. Anyone got any questions? Did you all manage to get the movement? Could you all see it? Good. And the other thing to note is if you choose long exposure on the live thing and you come down, the original photo is still there. You can always go back and just put it back to live and the other one's still there. It's not overwriting it. It's not deleting the other one. It's just showing you what they look like if you blend them all together. This is a great technique to use with buildings and reflections and full. No, we're not in fall at the moment, but you see full color. People use this the whole time. You really need something that has interesting lines. That's why people use the beach the whole time because you have like the sand, the horizon, the ocean, whatever. And ideally interesting color. You can do it in black and white, but like a lot of people I tell to practice this, I'm like, find in your house if you've got a bookshelf with like a spine of like books lined up with different colors, just like interesting spines of books. Try intentional camera movement there. You're going to get a really good blend of different colors. So if you can find something with line or color, that's generally going to make the best candidate for an intentional camera movement. Okay, good. So you've now got that in your toolbox to play around with. That's a good new one. Jean, did you happen to send me the schedule?
I did.
Okay, let me pull it up.
Email.
Yeah, I'm gonna just check on my, okay, perfect. I got it here. So let's take a look at, you guys may have seen this, you may not have seen this, but it's also good for everyone on the recording. So here's the show that we've got coming up. Okay, so 2 entries, botanical close-ups. We're going to look at this today. This was a big reason why I gave you that theme of fill the frame, because I wanted you to think about being able to. Can you see this, by the way? Just checking you could.
No, I'm not.
No,
Oh,
we're seeing something YouTube or something.
oh, you're seeing our old lesson though that I was watching before, just to catch myself up. Hold on, let's go here. Okay, and let's get to the show. See that?
Yeah.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay, great. So this one is really all to do with fill the frame. We'll look at some of the examples of pictures that you guys sent me in a minute. And you did a really good job. The intricate details of a botanical subject, leaf, branch, seed pod, focus on texture, pattern, and form to reveal the hidden beauty of natural close-ups. The key with this is you have to zoom with your feet. You have to get close to the plant material. There's no point taking this and being 8 feet away. Gene or whoever's judging this is not going to like you and is going to say that doesn't fulfill a botanical close-up. The flower or the plant should be filling the predominance of the frame, if not the whole thing. And your cameras, all of your iPhones, have a mode that when you get really close to the plant, you'll suddenly see, or the subject, you'll see like a little flower appear in yellow at the bottom. The iPhones now auto-engage what's called macro mode, which lets you take pictures of things closer up. Have any of you ever seen that before? The yellow flower? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
and it only appears when you kind of pass a threshold of your phone is within a certain distance to a subject. And in fact, I'll see if I can show it to you here. So, can you see? Let's see if I can get it to show. I may not be able to get it from backwards. But on the bottom left of the screen, can you see there's a flower there? There.
Yeah.
Now it's gone. It will go. And then when I go back, but there. Can you see it? That's macro. That means it auto engages macro mode. As in it's going to let you take a picture of my hand close up rather than my hand there, and then the flower disappears.
So there's no need for us to have to engage it. It just will automatically.
Automatic. It's automatic. Apple brought out an update about 3 cycles ago that auto-engaged macro mode on every iPhone, whether you've got a 14, 15, 16, 17, makes no difference. The key, though, that for class 1, that again we'll talk about in a sec when I show you photos, is you've got to make sure that you are focused on like a main focal point. So you've got to find a part of the plant that you think is the most interesting, and you've got to make sure that's nice and sharp. That's why it calls you out here. It says focus on texture, pattern, and form. A really good place if you got locally to you guys, if you go to Ruth Bancroft, which I think if you've ever been to, the Succulent Garden, this is a great place to get a good entry for this show. Because succulents have so many swirls and lines and texture and pattern that they work amazingly for botanical close-ups. Great place to go, but I would highly recommend if you go there to go later in the day, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, because the sun is lower. And the way that the sun hits the plants there is beautiful. You get really great photos. Whereas if you go at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, you'll still get photos, but the lighting won't be as good. You won't get that drama.
Do you use that wheel then? So like I
Yes.
went in and then it went from 0.5 and then you could go all the way up to 25.
Absolutely. The thing with the wheel that I will say, so for this particular class, you wouldn't want to use the 0.5 because that's like
Yeah.
wide angle. But when you spin the wheel, you don't want to go past. It depends which iPhone you've got, but I'll show you on mine. So here's the wheel. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Once on my iPhone, I've got an iPhone 17. Once I get past there, 5, and can you see the bars are starting to get closer together?
Mm-hmm.
That mean all these close together bars mean you're using digital zoom, which you lose quality. I don't even know.
Oh.
There we are. There's my eye. Okay, crazy picture of my eye, but just shows you that this that I can zoom all the way in. But ideally, I don't want to go past where those lines start getting close together. If I can, I want to zoom and then move closer with my feet. I don't want to be lazy and just say I'm going to zoom all the way in like this, because then you're going to lose some quality.
So past like 5 kind of?
Yeah, exactly past 5. Past 5, you switch from what's called digital zoom. Sorry, I think we're getting this wrong. You switch from optical zoom. Optical zoom means that basically you can think of the back of your camera as having like 3 different lenses. Like you had a camera bag and you could choose one of these lenses to put on.
Okay.
So one of these is a wide angle lens, one of these is like a bit of zoom, and one of them is what we call a telephoto lens. It's got a lot more zoom. And once you go past that, then you're basically relying on the computer inside the iPhone to zoom rather than the lenses, which you don't want to do.
Okay.
So it's a combination. It's a great point, Kathy. It's a combination of zooming and moving. And there's no reason when you shoot a botanical class 1 here that you shouldn't be able to get, I mean, like the succulent, the rose, the tulip is not going to bite you. There's no reason why you can't get your camera within 2 inches of it. When you do that, the iPhone will auto engage that macro mode. The key to remember, who can remember how to lock focus on the iPhone? You remember how to say, I want to focus just on Adam's eye?
You hold your finger down.
You could. Well remembered. So if this is the phone, you go 1, 2, 3, you hold it. I'll show you on my phone, and then and then I'll go in on my eye again. So here we go. So if I want to focus on me, I go 1, 2, 3, hold. Square goes solid yellow, and up there it says AEAF lock. That means auto exposure. Don't worry about that. The one you care about is auto focus lock. That means that you are taking control of the camera, because otherwise you could be taking pictures of a swirly succulent, but you have no control over where the focus goes. The iPhone's just going to guess, which I don't want you to do. There's a great phrase, the best camera is the 2 inches behind it. You're much smarter than the camera, so I want you to tell it where to focus, because usually what happens if you leave it to the iPhone to get, and this happened in a few of your pictures, we'll have a look in a minute, but if you leave it to the iPhone to focus, it will usually go to the brightest thing, because it finds the brightest thing the easiest to focus on. And sometimes it's not the brightest thing what you want to.
Can I ask you a quick question? How do I get that dial to come up?
Yeah, great question. So just make sure you're on photo at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you should see a whole load of numbers, depending on what iPhone you've got.
Yeah.
All you have to do,
Yeah.
and most people do this with their thumb, but you can do it with, I'll just show you with my fingers. You just touch on one of the numbers and you just like draw like a semicircle, like an arc.
Okay. Because sometimes it pops up and I'm like, I don't know how I got it to come up.
It's probably just you, it's
And then when
probably just you accidentally like caught it
yeah.
and it went like,
Okay. Thank you.
but that is a much better way to zoom than, if you remember, let me just spin my camera around. What I don't want you guys doing is pinch, pinch, pinch.
I have to catch myself doing that.
I mean, you may even be able to see the difference here, but when I pinch, the quality on my eye is not so good. Because when you pinch, you're engaging digital zoom rather than optical zoom. So, and that's just me helping you be a bit more advanced with how you use your iPhones for your photography. The zoom with the wheel is one thing that instantly elevates the quality. And it's counterintuitive because every single person pinch, pinch, pinch. So it just takes a bit of getting used to and a bit of practice.
Should we have taken these in RAW?
Say that again.
Should we have taken these in RAW?
You're talking about the intentional camera movement ones we just did?
No, just in general, like.
Oh yeah, in general, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, we cover that. But I think, Kathy, I mentioned this before you joined, that when you're in live mode, you can't take a raw photo. So when you're trying to do those movement ones, they won't be RAWs. It doesn't matter, just the iPhone doesn't let you do it. But the rest of the time, especially if you go to Ruth Bancroft, go to the Rose Garden in Heather Farm Park, whatever you want to do, to play in your backyard, you really want these to be in RAW.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a much bigger file and you're getting a much bigger, you may remember, I'll bring it up as well for the benefit of everyone on the recording, you'll get a much bigger, something called dynamic range.
Right.
Anyone remember what that means?
It's more pixels.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Close. Anyone want to, Lisa, you want to take a guess?
Isn't the dynamic range the light?
Yeah, good. Really good. So the dynamic range, write this down.
Oh, that's great.
And you see like if you sit on a GCA thing and you watch people judge things, they'll say again, like, not enough dynamic range, great use of dynamic range. They'll use the word a lot, sometimes even the acronym, just DR. But it's the definition of dynamic range is the amount of light that your camera sees from shadows, the darks, sorry about my writing, from shadows to highlights. And this plays into class 2 here. Create an image where shadows play a defining role or dramatic role in the composition. If your dynamic range is not big enough, your photo is not going to be dramatic enough to show the shadows. And one way that we can get the dynamic range bigger without doing any fancy stuff is purely to take a raw photo.
Mhm.
So
I did
that's
not.
so for class 2 here, that's going to make a big difference. And when you can write this down, this is a good little, when you increase dynamic range, that equals more light. And I always say that gives you 3 C's. It gives you, the more light you see, it gives you increased color. That's number 1. It gives you increased contrast. That's number 2. And it gives you increased clarity. That's number 3. And that's one of many reasons why we would photograph in a raw file, which I showed you how to do in the last lesson. So I'm not going to show you again. You can watch the video. But remember, you don't want to take a raw photo when you're, I don't know, at Lenardi's in the grocery store taking pictures of the cereal box or a receipt. That's just a waste of your memory on your phone. But you want to be doing it when you're doing stuff for your photography, when you're taking pictures of grandkids, when you're taking pictures of pets, when you go on vacation. All of those great examples of where really you should be shooting in RAW the whole time, because it's taking your iPhone from being like a $200 camera to being like a $2,000 camera in terms of how much light it sees.
Oh, okay.
So just remember those 3 C's: more color, more contrast, more clarity. And DR just means dynamic range. Okay, and that, to be honest, that's almost the essence of class 2 here. Create an image where shadows play a defining role, dramatic role in the composition, whether a landscape, a cityscape, or everyday scene. This is the key. Use light and contrast. That basically says search for dynamic range. Search for scenes where there's darks and brights and lots of shades in between to emphasize shape, depth, or drama. And the easiest way, other than putting it on RAW, to achieve greater dynamic range is this is all to do with light. And it's primarily to do with 2 things, which I alluded to these on the first class that we took. One is, where's the light coming from? And 2 is how strong it is. Intensity. As a reminder, does anyone remember when let me just close this up for a sec. We'll come back to it in a minute. Just get to my Lightroom. Do you guys remember when I drew that clock? Remember this?
Uh-huh.
This is to do with direction. And I said, if you're always standing at 6 o'clock, taking your picture, and your subject is in the middle, where ideally do you want the light coming from, Carolyn?
Like 5 or
Absolutely.
7.
You got it. So the easiest thing we can do is we can move so the light comes from behind us. That straight away creates more dynamic range. That creates exactly what the class called for: more shape, more depth, more shadows, just by you moving. If I was taking a picture of Carolyn, in fact, I'll show you on me. So you can see, like at the moment, if I take my glasses off, so you can see that I've got like some shadowing across my face here, right? It's not heavy, but there's some light coming onto me. That's because I have a window basically at 5 o'clock. This is the camera taking a picture of me. And there's like a window coming over my shoulder. If I spin around, okay, can you see how the camera has a really hard time with this and with this? That's the light coming from like 1 o'clock. And also, I just don't look as interesting. Like there's not as much drama and like definition as when you spin me around this way and look at the difference in, like, imagine I was a flower. It's the same thing. In fact, what I have going on here, it's kind of interesting, is the light's coming from 5 o'clock. If you look really carefully, there is a triangle of light here. Can you see that? It's very subtle, but there's a triangle of like white light here. That is called, let me just put the pen back. That's something called Rembrandt lighting, after the artist Rembrandt, the famous painter. And we get that on flowers, on landscapes, when the light is coming from over our shoulder onto the subject. I'll show you, hold on. Just plug everything back in. So take a look at this, and I'll just go Rembrandt. Good thing for you to know. Get rid of all my drawings. You can see this okay, right? Everyone see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So look at this. So here's Rembrandt. There's his triangle of light. This is how he painted people, right there. Just basically
it's
means the light's
small.
coming over, like this. This is so easy to do in your home. If you put your back to the window and you take a picture of someone facing the window, but you have to have the window behind me, and you'll see it used. Once you know this, you like, it's one of those things you can't unsee. Is all of these, there's a triangle of light. And these are all examples of shadows. This is like class 2. This is leaning into that. I know they're people. I'm just using that because that's the most obvious example. But you want to have your key light. Key light just means main light, which for you guys is going to be the sun or a window. Look at that. Look, imagine I put the clock on here. 12, 3, 6, 9. The light is coming from 7 o'clock onto the subject.
And then the triangle would be on the right side.
The opposite side, the right side. Yeah, exactly. So like if we look at, I don't know, this guy here, the window, if this was us taking our picture at 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, he's in the middle. The light's coming, in this case, from like 4 o'clock.
Got it.
Rembrandt lighting, it's your nose, and it happens with every single person. Your nose is casting a shadow from the direction of light that forms this triangular bar of light. And you see it, I mean, like, if you watch movies or TV shows, or like, you'll see they like light things on purpose. In fact, like, here's a whole load of different lighting techniques. But Rembrandt is a really popular one for contrast, and it's used not only for people, portraits. You're not going to see the triangle, but you're going to see the shadows and the definition. It's going to look much more interesting, the flower, because of the direction of light.
Huh. Okay.
Hmm.
The key to me, when I look at that class, the key to it is all about getting the light coming from the right direction. In this case, again, this one, the light is coming from like 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. So they basically position their vase, and they put a background behind it, but they've got the window slightly off to the side and behind them coming onto the flower. That makes sense to everyone?
Mhm.
Genius,
So-
like, question.
Yeah, in this case, this is still an example of Rembrandt lighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
It's just not
because
as
there-
obvious because you don't see the triangle, because it's
Yeah,
see that
but there
with
is
people.
some small light on the left side here. Is
Yeah.
that kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
and well, look, this photo, I would say, has a strong dynamic range. It has a nice bright thing here, and it has nice shadows here, and a whole range of light in between. That's what we're looking for. Do you remember I said an easy way to achieve more dynamic range, to see more light, is just the direction of where the light is coming from. And my recommendation would be try to get the light. No, and this is not a hard rule because sometimes we do it the other way, but for this class, I would definitely experiment with like warm window, like here, look at like this orchid, for example. Yeah. That's like a classic. That is Rembrandt lighting just on a flower. You don't see
Yeah.
the triangle because it's not a nose, but all that is just they've just positioned it where the light is coming from behind them and off to the side.
And do you know why the background's so dark?
Yeah, they've put a background in. They've put a black
Oh, okay.
background. Yeah. It wouldn't be that, or I mean, there's lots of things you can do to that, but this particular case, I can see they put a background in. They've
Mhm.
like hung a piece of black velvet or taken a bit. I mean, you could just use a piece of black card or black paper. You can go to Michael's and buy it in the craft store for $1 and just put a piece of black paper
Mhm.
behind your subjects. There's lots of fun things you can do with this. But to me, that has, if we come back and we look at the theme of the class, the drama of shadows, create an image where shadows play a defining or dramatic role in the composition. And this actually, the contest actually doesn't call for a flower photo. It calls for a
Yeah.
landscape, cityscape, or everyday scene. So let me actually show you an example of that. But I'll show you a Rembrandt lighting scene of a landscape. Let's just go lighting. Uh, Here we go. Okay, so let's see if we can find something. Okay, so even like this one, here we go. So, oops. So that, to me, is a dramatic photo.
Hmm.
There. The
Wow.
light is coming on, and that's got an interplay. It's all about the direction of light. Plus, we're going to add in a minute the second one, which is the intensity of the light. So the first thing you've got to do, if possible, and this is great to sometimes practice in your house because you'll learn that like in the morning, one side of your house has great light, and in the afternoon, the other side of your house has great light, just because of the way the sun has moved throughout the day. You generally want to try and pick the place where this kind of the sun is coming in. So maybe that's a bedroom in the morning and it's your kitchen in the afternoon. It doesn't matter, but I would kind of move my vase of flowers or my still life or whatever I'm taking a picture of. But in landscape photography like this, which is what the show calls for, we want to be conscious of where the light is coming from. But then we also want to really focus on my second thing, which is intensity, strength. And that's all to do with the time of day that you take the photo. It doesn't really take any camera wizardry. It's just you remember the word photography comes from the Greek, painting with light or drawing with light. Photo means light, graphy means painting or drawing. And this is kind of what that class calls on. And the key here is we don't want to take pictures when the main light, which we call in photography the key light, like a key you'd put in the door. Key light is the main light. That's usually the sun. We don't want to take a picture when the key light is too strong. Our iPhone hates it, finds it really hard to take the picture, and you don't get like the drama of the shadows and the highlights. In photography language, you don't get a big dynamic range. Everything just looks a bit meh, like we say flat. Doesn't contrast, this doesn't stand out. So the tip is that our cameras find it much easier and the quality of light is usually best the 4 hours after sunrise, sorry, sunrise, and the 4 hours before sunset. That's your window. The closer you can get to sunset, or the closer you can get to sunrise, probably the better quality of light you'll have. Because the light is, think about when the sun goes down and there's a sunset, the sun is not as strong as when it's right up here in the sky. It looks bigger because it's down on the horizon, but the actual intensity of it is not as strong. So the quality of light given out by it is better and provides us with a more dynamic range.
So in that sense, the intensity of light isn't at its strongest.
Yeah, we don't want it.
Yeah, we don't want it. Okay.
If you go out and photograph it, if you went and walked around the Lafayette Reservoir, use a perfect example that you're familiar with, and you went at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you took a picture of that water tower that's kind of in the middle of the reservoir, like when you start the loop, it will look okay. But I guarantee if you were there at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., or you were there at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., the quality of exactly the same photo without you doing anything would be massively enhanced because the light is weaker, which means the camera can handle it better. Plus, the direction is more advantageous because it's not right up in the sky. It's like coming down low and kind of doing our Rembrandt lighting. And that's when you start getting all the dramatic shadowing, which is really what this whole class is calling for. I'm going to just show you one thing here. Let's go back here. I know I'm flicking around a bit, but let's just say we're doing landscape photography. Golden hours. The golden hour is the hour before sunset. And you'll see in all of these, you're going to see big dramatic, like look at this. Oops. Look at this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like that.
You
I mean,
know where the
obviously,
light's coming from on that one.
yeah. But I mean, obviously we're not there. But like all of these pictures, the reason they look impactful is the time of day that they were taken.
hmm
Now, a lot of these are sunset or sunrise pictures, but even a picture, let's see if I can find a better one. Even a picture like this, like the house and everything just looks richer. You've got a bigger dynamic range because you're photographing at golden hour. Same with the mountains here. And golden, they call it golden hour. In truth, it's longer than an hour. But sorry, that one's a bit fuzzy. But you can see in a lot of these, this is a good place to actually practice this if you fancy a road trip or a weekend trip to get pictures like this, is if you go up to Napa and start going up into, go down, so go to Yountville, start going down some of those side roads, like round the back of Yountville, and you start getting up into the hills and things, and you're looking, you get a picture basically exactly like this, where you're looking down on vineyards and as I say, if you go there at 12 o'clock, yeah, the photo will be okay. But this is probably taken half an hour before the sunset down. Notice, you know this, notice the S curve running through this picture.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looks like Tuscany, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's Iceland.
Iceland, yeah. But you're very fortunate and you live in an amazing place to practice photography. You've got redwoods on your doorstep, you've got Napa on your doorstep, you've got coast on your doorstep, you've got an interesting city but all of these to lean into that. Well, let's actually do golden. Let's do San Francisco. Or actually, I'm going to do an even better one. I'm going to do Napa. Here we go. So a lot of these are photographing into the sun. Don't worry about that. That's a more advanced technique. So it's kind of counterintuitive to what you say. I'm just seeing if I can find some good ones here, but there aren't any. Let me do. Okay. So lots of people, they go and they like chase the fog up at Mount Tam. It's all to do with being there at the right time of day. This is a slow shutter speed. This is almost leaning into that intentional camera movement, moving your hand in line with the fog to get some swirls. But you'll see that the drama in all of these, like even this one, that picture is a relatively simple picture. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry, but you can see the light, the one with the cyclist. But that shaft of light and that shadows is what makes this picture strong. Ultimately, photography kind of lives or dies on the quality of mainly two things, lighting and composition, which is exactly why 99% of the GCA shows that I see and they say, how are we going to judge it? I'm not sure if it's here. Let's have a look.
No, it doesn't.
But a lot of them, when you look at them, the most weight is put to composition, creativity, and lighting. So here, when we're looking to landscape, cityscape, everyday scene, that could be wandering around Broadway Plaza in Walnut Creek, it doesn't matter. But if you wander around Broadway Plaza at 12 o'clock and take a picture, and then you take the same picture at 4 o'clock, in fact, this would be a really interesting theme. I'm not sure if Gene will tell me if creative tech, but this would be an interesting one to play with the ICM, the intentional camera movement on this. Find an interesting scene, find an interesting landscape, and then move your camera. because that's going to emphasize what it's asking for here, which is light, contrast, shape, depth, and drama. And it's going to make your picture stand out from everyone else's. Just a good one, good kind of technique to have up your sleeve. Okay. Anyone got any questions? I'm just trying to give you some ideas here for the show, ways to
No,
approach
that's
it.
helpful.
That's good.
Very helpful. Yeah.
It's already it opened yesterday.
Yeah.
Good. How's have we filled are we getting people filling classes up?
We got one yesterday.
Okay, well that's good. Well, you
I
guys
think
have no,
people are now thinking about it, right?
yeah, well you got 3 months to do it basically. So
Yeah.
it's fun to get out there. But both of these I think are very much in line with what I'm teaching you. And they actually, to be honest, dovetail into each other. Like the skills you need for one are somewhat similar to the skills you need for another. Just one's a big landscape, one's a close-up of a flower or a plant. Okay, good, very good. So let's spend the rest. We've brought in some kind of creative techniques today. I'd love to spend the remaining kind of 45 minutes that we have reviewing the pictures that you sent me. I just want to do a straw poll actually, just quickly. Can you just, everyone here, because people were sending them in dribs and drabs, some people send them late. Can you just see if you can see your photo here? And if you can't, just tell me.
No, mine aren't there.
Okay,
Mine aren't there either.
Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let's make sure they didn't get lost somewhere else in another folder. Lisa and Carolyn, did you see yours?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hold on. Let me just rescue this for a second.
So
How's
the moral of the story is send it in really late.
well, yes. Well, sending in really late.
No, I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, please don't send it in very late because then I have to scramble.
No, I know. I'm
I
kidding.
know. I laugh because I send them in, and then the beginning of the next class, I learn, oh, I could have done this instead, or I should have done that.
That's good learning process, right?
Oh, it's great. No, I
That's
appreciate
exactly how
it.
you learn. Exactly.
Exactly.
Hold on, I'm just rebring. I can see yours went in a different folder. I'm just going to bring them in. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I get
Julie
like
wanted us to go over hers. She can't be here today, but I think she.
Yeah, I think Julie's are in here. I'll triple check, but just having a
I
look.
sent mine yesterday.
Yeah, I'm looking, Kathy. I don't have any from you. I'm looking on your email.
I sent mine Sunday, I think.
I wonder if it went into spam because I sent them. When did I send?
You send them to your phone because I'm looking here on your email address and I definitely have nothing. I haven't got anything from you.
Even in
I'm gonna check my spam. Give me a second. Just gonna have a look.
I think that's what happened last time for some reason. Yeah, they were sent at 1:49 yesterday to Adam Jacobs.
Adam Jacobs Photography.
Adam Jacobs Photography at gmail.com.
That's bizarre. Where have you gone? Huh.
And I titled it Photos for Orinda Garden Club.
Yeah.
Great.
Can you try resending that email, please? If you've got it there in front of you, just re-forward it on to me.
Sure.
Do you see mine? I sent it on Sunday.
I got yours, yeah.
Okay.
I had yours. They were just in, that's why they were just in a different.
This happened last time too. Mine never, I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange.
It looks like they went through.
You resend it? Let's have a look. I'll tell you if I get it.
I'm having trouble with my email going to people's spam all the time. So.
Did you resend it, Kathy?
I just sent it again.
Okay, give it a sec, and then we'll see if it comes through, and then I'll pull yours and Jean's into the presentation, and then we're good. I'll tell you if it comes. Well, if it doesn't come up now, I'll go and hunt in my spam and see if it comes there. But if you've definitely sent it.
I just sent it again. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. And this time it came through.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Really weird.
Sorry,
these are late. I can see. Sorry, these are late. Hope you can add them for tomorrow's class.
Yep.
The only thing is you didn't attach. Can you just do it again? And I've just got the words of the JPEG. You need to forward it and include the attachment.
Okay, forward. Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll start with everyone else's. So just Try again, and it should say, do you want to like forward all attachments?
Yep, yep. And do actual size, right?
That's it. You got it.
Okay.
Always actual size to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
then
have to go outside and do them now in RAW, but
I know,
Do mine in raw
exactly.
either. I
there's
forgot.
coming. I just forwarded it.
okay, great. Let's see if it comes through. Just checking. Okay, there we go. Okay, I got him.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. I don't know. That was weird.
No, it's fine. I'm not sure why they didn't get to me the first time, but that's why I like to always ask because I want to make sure I haven't missed anyone. Yeah, these I definitely haven't seen. These have not come across my inbox. Okay, let's bring these into our presentation and then I'll share my screen. Okay, so sharing. You should see Lightroom. You're going to see Kathy and Jean's pictures come in. I've just got to put you in the right place. Here you guys are. Orinda, fill the frame. Done. Got him. There they go. There they are. Okay, perfect. Cool. Okay, so let's just randomize them so we're not looking at everyone's photos at the same time, making stuff interesting. So theme was fill the frame, okay, which really lent on class 1, the botanical. I mean, you didn't have to shoot a botanical, but it was getting you to think about it. Do you remember I told you that really good photography, unlike any other art form, is an exercise of exclusion. It's what we choose to take out our photo rather than what we choose to include. We want to kind of distill the complexity of the world around us, remove the clutter, because all of that can be distracting. And primarily distracting from, if I use photography language, from our focal point. And our focal point means the main subject. So that was kind of where I was asking you to go. I know you can see tons up here. Well, let's kick off with them. And this is a great, perfect. Interestingly, when you do an abstract like this, because I always get asked this question, there usually isn't a focal point because the subject is just the lines. The subject is the reflection. I wouldn't criticize this as having a lack of focal point. I'd say that this was a very good fill the frame image because another thing when you fill the frame, when you take stuff out, when you exclude, is by not showing everything, you make the viewer ask questions. So as in, I look at this and I'm like, okay, I know that's a reflection, but like, where is the photographer? Where are they standing? What are they taking? What are they doing? Are they on a boat? Like, are they at the shore? Who knows? If we can make people ask questions when we look at our photos, then you're definitely along the right track. It leads into a phrase I love teaching people, which is an easy one to remember, which says, show less, tell more. And this is a great example of it. By far and away, I'm fortunate enough to judge a lot of photography contests and sit on a lot of like panels where we look at photographs. By far and away, the biggest mistake that comes up again and again and again is the want to show everything. Oh my goodness, I'm like at the Lafayette Reservoir. There's an amazing sunset. There's ducks in the pond. There's like the water tower. There's boats over there. There's like people running over there. And you're like, oh my God, I have to show everything. And actually, when you show everything, you lose, doesn't you show nothing. There's no focal point. Your eye kind of just wanders. So try to remember that if you do decide for class 1, close up of the botanical, show less, tell more. It's the same as fill the frame. They're interchangeable. It's just 2 different phrases. But this is really good. Really, really good. Now, I would argue, who took this? Are you here today?
Oh, that's mine.
Hey, Karen. So can you remember what time of day you took this?
It was in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got kind of this nice soft morning light. Is it the reservoir?
No, it was actually at Valley Vista. I went on a birding walk
Oh, nice.
the birds were too far away, and I thought, well, the water looks nice.
Yeah, great, really good.
That's
Um,
great.
Yeah, neat.
and even just like even going this way, I mean, that looks like a piece that should be in restoration hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking it that way. As in, you would have no idea. This would be a great if the theme, which it's not, but if the theme was abstract or details, or often GCA throw out a theme that's called intimate landscapes. You may have seen that come up, which basically their definition of intimate landscapes is a scene where you can't see the sky or the horizon, of which this you can't. But this is great, really. I actually think I prefer it swiveled
Yeah.
because it becomes more artistic. It becomes less obvious what it is. And this is great. It's really, really good. It's got a lot of that. Water's great because it just gives us so much texture and pattern and line. So nice job seeing that. Did you get any photos of the birds, or were they all too far away?
Yeah, they were so far away.
So that's when you can practice using that wheel that I just taught you. But sometimes even then they'll be so far away you just can't get to them. That's a
Yeah.
limit of the iPhone. It's not, you can't photograph wildlife that's 300 meters away from you without it looking incredibly blurry.
Yeah.
But you can do most things. But nice job. Let's look at this one. I'm giving it away by showing you the ones at the bottom. Oops. There we go. So this is very much leaning on the class 1 close-up of a botanical. But Jean, where does your eye go in this picture?
Actually, I think it goes two places for me. I go to the stamens or what on both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a conflict here. I think this is a classic example of showing too much. I think I would probably pick one of these and hone in on it, because here my eye is really conflicted between the two. And kind of hard for me to recreate here, but I'll try.
I did do only one, and I thought it was kind of boring. So that's fine.
But I'm trying to see if I can get it. So
Yeah,
if I
maybe
give,
doing it slightly off or something would have.
yeah, I probably like even like that.
Yeah, that's more interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's more fulfilling the brief of, I would say, of a close-up of a botanical. What we're trying to do whenever we take any picture, this is a good kind of mindset to think about, is we're trying to move away from being a documentarian. So we're not photographing and saying, this is a California poppy for Wikipedia, and I'm going to take a picture to show everyone what a California poppy looks like, or this is a tulip. Rather than just documenting the flower, and this is true for documenting your grandkids or documenting your landscape or documenting your dog or whatever it may be, we want to try and create something that's more artistic. The documentarian is the point and shooter. Take a picture, take a picture, we want to, as best we can, to try to slow down, which I think you did here, Gene. You really thought about this and you took lots of different pictures, but we want to remember my 4 Ps. You want to be patient, you want to practice, you want to persevere, and you want to change your perspective. Patience, practice, perseverance, and perspective. And here, what I would be thinking when I took this picture is, just before I took the picture, Gene, I'd be asking myself the question, is everything in this photograph necessary? Is it all serving a purpose to take the view as
You.
oh, don't know what happened there. You back? Gene, you there?
Picture of the was it the water
Ducks farther away.
puddle? What was
And
it?
I thought, okay, they're not going to show up. And so I just, yeah, did the water.
Guys, you back?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Cool.
Sorry, I have
Yes,
no idea
and
what
you're
happened.
back.
No, my internet just like cut off and came straight back on again. So
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
hold on, let me reshare my screen. So if we reshare, so I think in this picture the key is to, can you see Lightroom? Actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it bigger for you guys. Hold on. The key is to just take a moment, think about, is everything here serving a purpose to take the viewer's eye to the focal point? And I think in this case, although I like the flow, I just think, especially because you made that bottom one so sharp, you held on. I think that you could have sliced and diced it and probably had a bit of like this flower here. And maybe go this way with the petal from the one below, but then that would become my focal point. I'd make that sharp. Tap and
Mhm.
hold. That makes sense, Gene?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good.
Well, because when I took the single flower, I stuck it in the middle, and to me that was really boring. But
Yeah.
what you did is you kind of chopped and diced it up a little bit.
Yeah, don't be afraid as well. I noticed when we were doing the intent, like a lot of you, just because it's just how we consume media, everyone takes pictures with their phones, portrait, portrait, portrait. Don't be afraid to turn your camera to landscape, more like a traditional camera. Even this picture, this is a lovely picture.
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, that's
Really
really
good to fulfill the frame, but I could easily flip it and play around. Like if I could have taken it landscape that way, and then it's really up. It looks like I'm looking straight down. This is a great. Who took this one? Maybe not someone who's here today. I think that maybe this was Julie's. I can't remember. But this is excellent.
Yeah, this is cool.
Really
Yeah.
cool. And this, again, this photo, if I was going to kind of coin what's this photo all about, it's all about perspective. It's changing her perspective. So rather than look straight out on this lake or this body of water, she's looking straight down on it, which is, again, time of day is really important. It looks like it's raining because or there's some type of water falling on, which is causing these lovely ripples and texture. And it's very layered and very abstract. It's really
Yeah.
good. Really, really good.
really cool.
The only thing I'd probably pick up if I was being hypercritical on this one, which is kind of my job, is that this twig is
Yeah.
meant to be leading us out of the frame.
Wow, yeah.
Hmm.
And I don't know whether that needs to be there. I could have moved. It is interesting.
Yeah.
If I would have moved, like, even if I don't have as much of it, like, maybe that's kind of more boring. Or I mean, I could have just focused on the ripple. There's tons of things that you could have done with this. But I just think maybe if a GCA judge was looking for a critique here, I would imagine that's what they would pick up on, is that the twig is leading you out the frame. Plus, it's a little bit brighter than everything else. So good actual, I'll give you another tip here, which is relevant to something like this, iPhone tip. Pick up your iPhones again. Can't remember if I've told you this once. If I've told it to you, then it's good reinforcement. But it just came to my mind here. Find something in your room that's a subject. It can be a mug on your table, a water bottle, doesn't matter, anything. Do the 1, 2, 3 tap on it to hold it. I'm gonna do it on my, in fact, I'll do it on my face. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, hold. You'll see the AEAF lock at the top. And then to the side of the yellow square, you're going to see a little sun. It's faint and it's small, but it's there to the right-hand side of your square.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If you take your finger, and this is only, you can only get into this when you lock the focus. If you take your finger on that sun and you drag it up or down, your picture is going to get brighter and darker. It allows you to tweak the exposure. It's a little bit fiddly. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But you'll see when you press it, when you touch on it, you should see like a little yellow vertical line come up.
Yep.
And then you can just drag the sun
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
up and down the vertical line. And when you go up, the picture is going to get brighter. And when you go down, the picture is going to get darker. And that's a great way to be able to control or help control, especially if there's something like this that's really bright. I'd lock in on it, 1, 2, 3, and then I drag the sun down, which would basically recreate as if I do this. Just make it a teeny bit darker. That's not quite so bright. So that's a really good way to adjust the exposure. The exposure just means how bright or dark your photo is in camera. without doing it afterwards. I'd much rather you do it in camera because you're going to get a better result. Jean, you look like you have a question.
Yeah, and it increases the light for the whole image,
The whole
not just
thing,
the
the
little
whole thing.
box.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yeah. Unless you use there's ways of doing it where you just do a tiny bit of it, but Apple's kind of easy way of adjusting exposure is lock the focus and then dial it up or dial it down. And usually the rule of thumb is I'll write this down, this is a good phrase to remember, is you want to do something called expose for the highlights. That's a really big photography technique. What that means in basic English is you want to set the brightness of your photograph,
Mhm.
the exposure, so that the brightest thing, the highlight, which in this case was the branch, so that the brightest thing is correctly exposed. That stops you running into issues where you have like areas of a photo that are bright white because it was blown out or overexposed. So that sun trick is a great way of, if again you're at the Lafayette Reservoir, I'm just keep on coming back to this bit, and the water tower is being lit by the sun and it's brighter than everything else, then you want to make sure that you tap on the Lafayette Reservoir, you hold it, and then you just adjust it up and down until the brightest thing, the water tower, is correctly exposed. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Good. Good. We're going to make sure we expose for the highlights. Let's take a look at this one.
Oh, wow. Cool.
This is Lisa's.
Wow.
Really good. So really nice job capturing the butterfly. I would have loved if you would have taken this picture landscape rather than portrait. So you didn't necessarily cut off the edge of the butterfly, although it's definitely a fill the frame, 100%. I probably would have even come, if I was going to be really filling the frame, which you could have used your wheel to do this, Lisa. You could have really focused on the wheel. You may even have wanted to come in like really close like this and not necessarily show all of the butterfly wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It was a much larger photo, not much larger, but it was larger. And when I was cropping, and I really liked the blue on the one wing, so I was trying to get the blue.
Yeah.
But I do like what you did here. I told you at the start, I was trying to get rid of that blur in the front.
Yeah, and it's almost like if I wanted the blue wing, which I like, I would love
Oh, wow.
for it to be like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to go landscape.
And I liked the antennas too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like this, the wings of the butterfly and the purple flower, everything is framing you, is taking you up to here. This is kind of drawing you in. This is kind of drawing you in. That's the original. Still draws you in. Still a really good shot. You did a really nice job. But I would have been, and obviously the butterfly may have been there for 2 seconds and then flown away, so you don't have much time to try to get it. But the key as you practice and as you play is you'll see these compositions better, but really well done on getting this is not easy on an iPhone to get the focus on a butterfly like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really,
Amazing.
really. And what's nice, the iPhone now creates this shallow, it creates this bokeh, which is the fancy word for blur, behind your subject. It does that without you having to do anything.
Is
5 years
that because
ago,
of macro mode?
not necessarily, no. There's some really smart stuff built into the iPhone now, especially when you tap and hold. When you tap and hold, you're basically saying to the iPhone, this is the subject. And I care mostly about the subject. And there's like an algorithm, there's a computer part of the camera that will say, like I figure out that if Lisa's tapped on that and kind of we think that's an animal or a butterfly, we're going to blur the background for her. It happens in macro mode, but it also happens, I could take a picture of my Gatorade bottle, hold on it, and if I was taking it from over here, nine times out of 10, the iPhone will blur the background. It's a very
That's
piece, but
cool.
yeah, it's called subject detection. It's really smart, and it's now built into every iPhone. But really nice job, Lisa. Well done.
Thank you.
And then this one was interesting. So this one, I think, was this yours, Carolyn? I can't remember.
It is.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is just for fun.
Yeah, well, do you know what? But I actually think this is a really good fill the frame picture because the layers and the patterns and the vanishing point that's existing here, there's a big vanishing point thing. And the fact that we don't see the end of the nursery and we don't see the start of the nursery means that they could be 20,000 plant pots
Yeah.
here, or they could be 100. This picture really, I know you sent me this one. You're like, oh yeah, I just thought this one was fun, but I actually thought this one was very good. It reminded me, you may remember the very first class. Do you remember I showed you this artist. Can you see the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I showed you this artist who I said it was previously the world's most expensive photo. Do you remember this one?
Yeah.
You all
Yeah.
turned your nose up at it, then which most people do. He's very, very famous, and he took this picture of the
Yeah.
warehouse in Seattle for Amazon. If it looks up, you'll see.
Yeah.
And it reminded me a bit
Yeah.
of cat. This is an example of a fill the frame picture.
Mhm.
That's all the inventory in an Amazon warehouse, just layered and layered and layered and layered.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
pretty crazy, right? But the key and this guy you see again and again, it's all about like filling the frame. Not this picture would be boring if he'd shown the roof all the way up to the roof of the warehouse. The fact that he's contained it just means it's so much more engaging. And also, if I didn't tell you what that was at the beginning, you'd probably have no idea what that was. And he's probably when I teach like fill the frame landscapes, this is like the go-to person. I'll show you. He's done so many pictures where he just like even like this picture. Okay, this is a bit like if it loads up, a bit like the nursery picture. It's just rows and rows and rows of houses in a building, like rows and rows and rows and rows of. I think that's a hotel in Times Square. It says Times Square. I'm guessing it's a hotel. Do you know there's a really good place to practice this actually? Have any of you ever been into the Hyatt Regency right
Yeah.
next? I mentioned this actually, didn't I? to
Yeah, you
last week?
talked about it
Yeah,
last
I
week.
remember. I suddenly remembered I mentioned it because one of you took a picture from the ferry building, so I won't go there. But yeah, in terms of seeing in the kind of these layers, that's one way to achieve a fill the frame look, which you've done here. This is your Gursky-esque inspired picture, Karen. Really nice job, though. Really good. Let's look at the next one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Interesting. So I really like this one again. Well done for whoever took it. One of you guys here? No, someone on the rest of the class feels sticking their camera through the glass sculpture, getting up close. The only probably negative I have on this one is I'm not crazy about like what's through here, this line. I probably would have just dropped my camera an inch or two lower, and this would have moved up. You wouldn't have had this line, and this just would have been an empty black hole, an empty space.
Mm.
I feel like that line there is a little bit contradictory. It's like it's pulling for your attention. Again, I think probably this picture, much like I like how you took it here, but I think it's just as effective if you go landscape. Almost looks like an eyeball.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like loads of eyelashes coming out of it. And nice job, whoever took it on off-centering the middle of
Yeah.
the sculpture. Because the majority of people would take this photo and they'd go like that.
Yeah, and it's not as good.
No, I mean, there's symmetry, but it's nowhere near as interesting. That leans into the rule of thirds. Okay, this is Kathy's picture, I think, I just added. So really nice job. So Kathy here, what time of day did you take this? Can you remember?
It was early afternoon.
Yeah.
So Yeah, in my backyard. I just was trying to get flowers. I didn't do the other thing.
Look
That's
at
my
the.
least favorite, but that is, yeah.
Well, I would even, if you want to go really abstract with something like this, because you've got, look at the shadowing that's being caused by the petals. I'd be tempted for something like this if I was entering this as a close-up botanical macro to make it stand out. I would do something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mhm.
That straight away becomes about pattern and line and shape, and most importantly, good light. That's why I asked when you took it, because this is really good light. It's got
Yeah,
excellent
that's why
light.
I like the succulent better because I think the lighting had more lines. But anyway,
Which one? This one?
no, yeah, as far
Yeah.
as the lighting,
So absolutely. So you can see that's what succulents are amazing for close-ups.
Mhm.
The one thing that I would probably critique here is where's the main subject in the frame?
yeah, it should be over more to
Yeah,
the,
but
yeah,
it's smack bang in the middle. And often when we have something like this, it's a whether it's a bloom or a succulent, and there's like a clear direction that the flower is pointing in, as in the plant material here to me is pointing like everything's pointing me up.
okay, turn
Then
it.
I would be thinking about, okay, I want to lean into that and I want to anchor the frame.
Oh.
I put it like in the bottom and it leads me up through the picture.
Okay,
This you could break the rules. This would be a breaking the rules picture, but I think there you kind of get stuck between the center and the spines down at the bottom. I think this is a much better crop. So look for the direction in which kind of your flowers, your botanicals are growing, and then leave them negative space to grow into.
okay,
That's good.
It's the same if this was my grandkid, if this was my I don't have a grandkid, if this was my 4-year-old and she's running here, I don't want to put her over here running out the frame.
right. Yeah.
Put her here, like those pictures, all those pictures we saw of the dogs running on the beach, and I want to give her room to run into. You always want to put your subject to one side to allow the viewer to follow them into the negative space. This picture would look weird and unbalanced if I did it. I'll try and recreate it. If I did it this way.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Because it's trying to lead you out. It's nice, but I think it's nicer if I did this type of crowd. I don't know if I put it on this side. Because then
Okay.
I follow it through. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Really good. Well done for finding the good light. Look at these two. I actually wanted to show these two. So this was someone who sent me, which was one of the things I actually requested. Don't worry, you guys didn't, most of you didn't do it, but I said, send me the first one and send me the last one.
Oh, whoops. I didn't hear that on the
Oh, I missed that too.
It's okay, don't
I
worry.
did too.
But someone got it because they sent me this shell and then they sent me the close-up of the shell.
Got it.
The one on the left is definitely not fill the frame. The one on the right is fill the frame. Now, the argument I've made is where they've chosen to focus on this shell is probably to me not the most interesting part. The most interesting part is down here. It's this bit down here. Now, this one's kind of hard because I don't have room to make it breathe, but I would still go for a picture like that as opposed to that. I think the one on the left just is much more interesting. It's the same shell, just choosing which part of it to fill the frame with.
Although
Ideally,
that one looks like it's going down, like you were
Yeah.
saying.
yeah. I just said I don't have room to. I don't have. This should be like this, but I don't have the room to play with.
Okay.
Ideally, that would be on the top left-hand corner of the picture. Absolutely. Well done for holding me true there. That is in the wrong place.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was hearing what you, yeah, yeah.
You got it.
Turn it up. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, and you're right. I could turn it upside down.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of, I want it like down here, but then I'm looking at background. So it's just not.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
So it just would have involved me moving a little bit when I took the picture.
Okay.
Look at this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Very pretty, nice. But I think we're probably again losing maybe a focal point. For the theme for class 1, I think we've got to be closer to the flower than this. I think we've got to say, okay, I want to kind of like with genes, I want to focus on this, or I want to focus on this, or I just want to focus on the like the pretty like petals on the, well, they're not petals, but leaves on the side, like here. Like even you could just do that. It's going to be really blurry. Um, but I would like, again, probably here, if I had the room, Kathy, this would be growing up into my picture. That would
Mhm.
be anchored on the bottom. That's got great light. That to me is a much better close-up of a
Better.
bottom. Say that again.
Much better. Yeah.
This is yours, Jean.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah. So this to me is and it's just moving closer. So Jean, we can see a bit of a pattern there in your stuff. Just try to
Exactly.
hone in and make sure we capture it. Look at this one. This was really good. I don't think this was one of you. I think this was someone else in the class. But this, I have no idea what that is, which is good.
Looks like a picture.
Oh, so is that the point, like on the, like, let's say class 1 on botanicals,
Yeah.
is the point to make it so that you don't even know what the flower is? I mean,
Potentially, but not always. So
okay.
like for example, this one, I could say, okay, I don't want to focus on the center, which is the common thing that most people would send, and I just want to focus on like these little spikes. Like that's a close up. Like just focusing on like those guys there. But it's equally as much of a close up if you did this. What I would argue is that this is more conventional. If you want to
Yeah,
make
that's what I was
yourself,
trying to, yeah.
if you want to make yourself stand out from the crowd, think, oh, I don't always maybe even have to photograph the center of the flower. Maybe I just pick up on where the light is hitting, where there's good line and shape and form, and something like this. If I probably swivel it round, like I'm starting to create something that's pretty interesting, and I'll probably go this way, pretty in like that. And you're right, to Kathy's point, I kind of wouldn't know what flower that was. Almost looks like an apple. You can
Okay.
do it both ways. The key, what you don't want to do is like how we have the shell here, and we don't want to show like the entire flower and all the garden behind it.
Right.
That's not relevant. I want you to zoom. It comes back to that zooming with your feet, getting close to the subject. Like again, this one's a good example. This one's definitely a close up. It almost looks like there's an eye in there. It's funny. It looks like an eyeball in there. But this one is playing on sometimes, especially with succulents. If you go to Ruth Bancroft, succulents love symmetry, and that's a big thing in photography. This almost looks like I put a mirror horizontally and a mirror vertically, and they're exactly flipped. Now the subject is in the middle. That's not necessarily, none of these things are like hard rules. Here it's in the middle and it plays to symmetry. I could just as easily offset it and take the same picture here. I'm not saying one is better than the other. They're just different.
Right.
The key is to experiment. The beauty of digital photography is that it's free and that we can take as many pictures as we like. Like this is a good example of not showing like the whole plant. I'm not crazy about the dirt back there, the ground. I probably would have taken that out. I would have just moved closer. And again, I just would have honed in on probably these interesting like lines and texture. It's very similar to what I did on the cactus picture. Could you see
It
the
highlights the light better.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to be looking in all of these pictures, like where's the good light coming from? What's it lighting up? And often in a picture like this, where the light is very good, or a picture like I put in some extra ones here, but I'm just trying to find where's one of your ones. Let's just even look at this mushroom. Okay. In a picture like this, you have to move. This is Rembrandt lighting on this mushroom. The lighting is coming behind the photographer. Could have been just as easy for the photographer to take the picture from over here, but it wouldn't look nearly as interesting. Now, this one I don't think would qualify as a close-up of a botanical. I think it's too far away. Again, I'd probably flip landscape and I just focus just on this like sharp edge, like that.
Oh my.
Mm.
Wow.
That's a close up. And the beauty, all of your with what I currently taught you, all of your iPhones can do this. This is not, I'm not showing you stuff here. It's just the mindset of that filling the frame, going close, getting in. So we're looking at even this is lovely. Like who took, is this
But
one you
going
got?
closer.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did that one. I did
yeah,
Yeah.
that one. I laid down on the ground.
really
Like,
good job. But like, excellent. And the light's fantastic. But like this over here, we don't need to see.
yeah, I couldn't figure out how to get that
Wow.
out.
If you got, yeah, that would be really confusing if you didn't, if it was really close, what that is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's a close up. But imagine if Carolyn had lay on the floor and then just like zoomed her wheel in, just moved her wheel,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
neat.
neat.
almost looks like pieces of lettuce. Looks like someone's presenting some food on a bed of
Yeah.
lettuce. Little appetite looks like little appetizers. Uh, but and again, there's so many ways like you can slice and dice like one like when you see me do this and play around with it, what I'm primarily looking for is the good light.
The light. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's all about the light. That's what I spent 20 minutes today talking about. Is you have to think about when you take good photos. Like look at Carolyn now. No offense, Carolyn, but the light is not great on Carolyn
No.
because the light is coming from the wrong side. If she swiveled her computer around and had the window facing her, she's not going to be in the shadows. So it's that you may remember that I talked about on one of the very first classes. Let's look at this one. This one's good.
Ooh.
Um, you've got to think about everything as a 360-degree object that you can move around it, like Carolyn did. She went down and she looked up at it. You can look down on something like that puddle, that great puddle reflection shot we saw. The key is that the biggest mistake most photographers make is they see the subject, they're like, oh yeah, that's a cool flower, that's a nice light. And then they go to take the picture and it's like their feet are stuck in cement. They're like move a little bit this way, a little bit this way, and then they'll stop taking the picture. They don't think to like get up close, like move around it, like come from above, come from below, tilt my camera a bit, try some in portrait, try some in landscape. The beauty of digital photography is it's free and you get instantaneous feedback. You know what your picture looks like straight away. If you don't like it, you change the angle. Remember, when we go lower, things look bigger. When we go up from above, things look a bit more slender. But this is a good example of filling the frame. But I can guarantee you, if this was thrown out to a bunch of GCA judges, they would criticize that down there.
Uh-huh.
It's minor, but they say the photographer should have seen it and checked the edges of their frame and taken it out. So was this your Carolyn? Was this your one as well?
No, that's not mine.
Um,
Pretty.
yeah, really pretty. And look, so you can kind of see. Look, I'm gonna
Yeah.
highlight a few here that I've kind of gone a bit closer in on.
This cyclamen, like with that one, would you do that one closer? The white one, the white and pink
This
cyclamen.
one,
Yeah.
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 Again, we found the good light. Absolutely, I would probably be going landscape, and I'd be thinking about where's the
Put
shadowing.
that on my own camera. Yeah, just to go in tighter. Okay.
I'd probably even think about maybe tilting my camera, trying to get a good angle on it, play it around. But here, where you're getting that, it's all about look at the shadows and the light and how it's interplaying with each other. I
Mhm.
don't like that gap there.
Yeah.
Which you could have got rid of by just moving like an
Uh-huh.
inch to the left or an inch to the right. But as you get
Okay.
better, you will get better at framing things. It just becomes instinctive. It's natural. But the key is practice. It comes back to that your first 10,000 photographs you watch. This is a great filter frame picture.
Really.
An S curve, lovely texture. Like we don't have room to go anywhere else. We're sucked straight into the focal point. Again, sound like a broken record, but this one could be rotated. Don't almost all the pictures you see here, like I think this was, I can't remember whose this one was, but was this yours, Gene? It may have
This
been
is,
No,
this was
mine.
me.
Lisa's really nice. Rust, is it rust on a car?
No, actually, it is the countertop in the Tiffany bathroom.
Oh,
It's
nice.
the
Yeah, yeah,
granite.
yeah. Great. Well, they definitely won't like if you said that I thought it was rust. But really good in terms of not showing us everything. So I had no idea what it was. Again, watch the top there, Lisa. I just take that out a little bit, that little whatever that is at the top. This is great. Like this is exactly what I'd be wanting you to do on a fill the frame exercise. Leaving stuff up to the viewer's interpretation. I had no idea what, and I probably would have asked all four of you, and none of you would have known what that was, unless I would have, unless we would have been. Look at this one. It's good. It's a great one for succulent and light and filling the frame. I think I may have played with this one before. Let me see. I think I cropped it. I was messing around with it. Let me see. Oh no, that was the original. So really, really, really nice job whoever took this one. Again, Kathy, I'd look at the direction that it's flowing and I'd give it room to flow. I wouldn't put it down here
Uh-huh.
because then we kind of want to go up, but we also want to go down. So there's a conflict. So here's what I want to do for the class. I'm going to challenge you actually I'm going to pull up the schedule again, the show. Hold on. Here's the show. And I want us to think about, you can choose number one or number two, but I'd love for you to actually focus on number two, thinking about light, landscape. And I'd like you to try some of that I want you to try intentional camera movement here. And I want you to try to find big dynamic range, good light.
So sadly, we don't have another lesson.
Oh yeah, we don't have another lesson. Oh well, okay. Well then, sorry. For some reason in my mind, I thought there was one more. Oh, so we're out of credits.
We're out of credit.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to huddle to see if we can get our group together.
Okay. Well, I'd be delighted to carry on with you guys if you wish to carry on. You have to let me know. Maybe a good idea to kind of give you guys a couple of weeks, like given the show just opened, and then you've got till April. It may be nice to kind of maybe Gene, we could arrange a lesson in between, like those two things to kind of maybe drum up interest and not let support waver. Would you guys be interested in carrying on and doing more classes? I mean, there's a million things I can show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
So I'll speak with Jean. Maybe I'll throw out a date or two, and we can see if we can continue with this group. So actually, just continue. I do want you to try one of those intentional. You can email me photos even if we don't have a class. I'll still give you feedback over thing. I'm very happy to always do that. But yeah, I would love to see this group once, maybe ideally twice. I'd love to maybe put two more lessons in because I feel like there's some creative techniques and things that we just don't have time to get to in the window of opportunity. So I'll send Jean maybe you guys like this 9 o'clock time, right? It's a good
Yeah.
time. Most
I had a request for some other day than Tuesday, but that was from one person.
another date, not Tuesday.
Not Tuesday.
Okay,
But I don't know how that works with everybody else.
I'll take a look. I'll take a look in my calendar, and I'll shoot out some dates, maybe for like mid to end of Feb, early March, which is kind of sandwiched in between there nicely. And then, in fact, actually, while I've got you all on the phone, because otherwise I'm gonna just throw out 2 or 3 dates. Let's have a look. And you don't have to commit right now, but just tell me if the date is realistic for you. Let me have a look. Try and find a 9 o'clock slot for you guys. Okay, so I could do Thursday, the 26th of February, 9 till 11.
I'm out.
Okay. Let me see what else I could do.
I'm going too.
But
Yeah.
don't plan around me.
No, but while you're here, I'm going to see if I can find something that works for everyone. How's How's Monday the 2nd of March at 9 a.m.?
I'm still out. Sorry.
Um,
I'm in India.
oh no, but well,
A
that's a
lot
great
of good
time.
photography options there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look up a photographer called Steve McCurry. He's got amazing photos of India. MCCURRY. Okay,
Yeah.
let me send some options to Jean. I think that's the easiest, and then she
Yeah.
can kind of put it out to the group. And I would say, Lisa, like even if you can't attend or anyone can't, if you can't limit, if we try to do two, again, you'll have the recording. Submit images to me. I'll make sure your images get reviewed so you can get the feedback, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
Nice seeing everyone.
All
Enjoy.
Thank
right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
you.
Adam.
I'll send you the
Thanks,
recording
everyone.
later on this evening. You'll
Thank
get
you.
the recording of today.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Adam.